Here's some good news for those of you who have been emailing me asking me about fully funded scholarships for psychology. Well, there are so many fully funded scholarships in the United States of America and in Canada for psychology. So, if you're one of those persons who are interested in clinical psychology, in industrial psychology, in whatever kind of psychology, come on, today is your day. Come on in and do not be distracted. Okay, people, let's get right into it. Without further ado, there are five schools I will be sharing with you today that offer fully funded scholarships in psychology. And these schools are University of Western Ontario, University of Waterloo in Canada, University of Toronto, University of Montclair in the United States, Montclair State University actually, and then Duke University in the United States of America. So, like always, why did I choose this school? I try to find schools that have both fully funded or substantial funding for masters, for both masters and then for PhD. Now, like I always tell you, there are so many fully funded PhD programs. If you are going for PhD, it's not a problem. Their PhDs are funded in North America, at least to a large extent, right? But masters is always very difficult to find fully funded masters in North America. So I try to find those masters that those programs or those schools that offer fully funded scholarship for both their masters and their PhD. So secondly, I try to find programs that would not require you to write TOEFL or GRE, graduate record exams, or do pass through all those extraneous application process. So, give or take, these programs would only require you to submit the general common requirements, writing sample, transcript, statement of purpose, letters of recommendation, CV, and an online application form. So, we are going to see check what each of the programs are requiring, if there's anything like new that the programs are requiring. So, let us start with Duke University in the United States of America. So, one thing with Duke University is that their psychology and neuroscience program is, I don't know, like they have this kind of network with another school in France, Ecole Normale Supérieure. I don't know if I pronounced that very well, but they have this connection or this relationship with them that their program seems to be together. So in these universities, the Duke University does not offer fully funded master's program. It is PhD directly. And one thing that is good with this program is that it does not require you to have your master's already. So you can, from your BSc, you can join the PhD program directly, right? So, and then it's 5 years. So you need, they specialize in cognitive science, linguistic, and neuroscience, modeling, and cognitive engineering. So it's, if you're interested in one of these things, then Duke University is for you. Then, if you're interested in a master's program, then you might as well apply to the Ecole Normale Supérieure. And no, I'm murdering that name, but please pardon me. So they have a 3 year fully funded master's. So if you want to go through this way, you only require to do the 3 years master's and then do a 3 years PhD from ENS, Ecole Normale Supérieure. So you do not have to. So, but if you don't want to go through this process, you can as well apply to Duke University and do their 5 years PhD program. So, is there any other thing we should know about this school? Program in psychology and neuroscience guarantees fully funded, which includes stipend, monthly stipend, tuition remission and fees for 5 academic years, fall and spring. Then during summer, you have time to do whatever it is you want to do. They also have other kinds of funding like summer support. They have summer stipend of $8,250 that you are also free to, that you can also enjoy. What are those things you need to apply with? Well, graduate record exams is optional. It's optional. A completed Duke Graduate School electronic application for admission. The application fee is 95 USD, 95 US dollars, and then three letters of recommendation, academic letters of recommendation, your transcript. Then for international students, they said TOEFL exams, they can waive that if you ask. And then they also give conditions for submitting, for requesting for TOEFL waiver. And then GRE, like I said, is optional. And you might as well write GRE. So, I mean, if you can afford it and it's not a problem, you can write it. Yeah. So that is that for Duke University. So people, the second school on our list will be the Montclair State University, Department of Psychology. So this program has both masters and their PhD funded. Now, it seems that their PhD is like they focus more on funding their PhD students, like always, like it is expected, right? And then whatever it is left, they also extend to their master's students. So this is what they say on their website. And the graduate school at Montclair University provides competitive assistantships, which offer full tuition remission and a stipend in exchange for work conducted with department faculty. So for their doctoral students, they said on their website, we make every effort to fund all doctoral students through their first 4 years of study. So guaranteed funding for the first 4 years of their study. Then why for their masters? For their master's students, this is what they have to say. Funding for students may be awarded on a competitive basis for exceptional students. Funding takes the form of graduate assistantship or teaching assistantship. Both are 10-month contracts that provide tuition and fee remission and the stipend. Graduate assistants are assigned to a faculty member and spend 20 hours per week assisting the faculty member with their research activities. So, anyways, this is what they have, the kind of funding they have: graduate assistantships, which covers both tuition and then offers you stipend. Then, what do you need to apply to this program? Well, this program would require you, alongside what the other school offer, this particular program requires GRE. It is not normally a thing that I include programs that request for GRE. I just added this in case that someone is looking for, place to apply. If you can afford it, why not? If you can write the GRE exams, why not give it a try? Since what you'll be getting in return, a full funding, what's more than devoting that time, or what more than what you spend in writing GRE. So yes, admission requirements: student overall and psychology grade point average, GRE scores, three letters of recommendation, personal essay describing professional goals and interests. And I don't know what this I/O psychology means, honestly. So those of you in psychology, tell me in the comment section below, what does that I and then slash O psychology mean? I don't know. So they also need your resume or past research experiences and relevant job experience. Same thing for doctoral um, and master student. Now, if you're a PhD student, this is optional, but they did mention that enough practical or applied experience to show you can function in a team and corporate settings, enough IO background to show you know what you are getting into, even if it is informal training, background in programming, math, or statistics. I mean, this program seems to require a lot, but for those of you who might, who this is okay, you can meet this requirement, please do not hesitate to apply. Yes, that is that for Montclair State University. So we are down to our third school, University of Toronto in Canada. So this school has two major specialties in clinical and counseling psychology and then in experimental psychology. However, we're going to be focusing on their, so if you're interested in any one of these two fields, you can always apply to them, right? So, but I'm going to focus more on their clinical psychology. So for those interested, look at their funding. They offer both full funding to their masters and to their PhD students. So this is what they have to say about their funding. For the 2023 to 2024 academic year, current students in good academic standing are offered a guaranteed minimum funding package of 23,500 plus tuition and incidental fees each year for a total of 6 years. For PhD student, it is 4 years. For master student, it is 2 years. So at master's level, you are sure to receive up to 32,000 in for their full funding package, and for their PhD, you're sure to receive 39,000 in funding per year, right? So that is that for funding. Let's see what it would take to apply to this school. So to apply to this school, first and foremost, we start from deadlines. To apply for their MA and PhD in clinical psychology, the deadline is October 1, 2023. So the application season opens October 1, 2023 and ends December 1, 2023. So please take note of that. For master students, here is what they need: a 4-year bachelor's degree, at least an A in the final 2 years of undergraduate, at least 4.0 to 6.0 full course equivalent. That is, take um, as many psychology courses as possible and graduate at least with a 2:1. Two academic letters of reference, a personal statement, a curriculum vitae, and identification of faculty supervisory arrangement and area of research interest. So for this program, you're supposed to reach out to their professors beforehand, requesting for them to supervise you. I've already made the videos about how to send cold emails to professors requesting that they be your supervisor. So check down below for check my video list for this particular video on cold emails. So for a PhD, this is what they require. They require a master's degree, two academic letters of reference, a personal statement, a curriculum vitae, and you must also have have secured a supervisor from the department before applying. So that is that. No GRE, no TOEFL, no all those extraneous materials for application. Okay, people, the fourth school on our list is the University of Waterloo. So University of Waterloo, for their master's students, what I consider this kind of funding is they give you substantial funding, meaning they give you the funding that pays your tuition and then maybe your health insurance or something. Then you have, you know, other that is their minimum funding is substantial. It's not a full funding, so it's substantial, meaning it covers your food tuition, maybe something less for the living expenses, but does not cover all of living expenses, right? So their minimum funding for their master student is 18,000 annually. So this minimum is guaranteed for 1 year for the Masters of Science in Developmental and Communication Science and 2 years for Masters of Science in Industrial Organizational Psychology and 2 years for all those admitted to the Masters of Arts. So that IO stuff I was seeing in the Montclair University is Industrial Organizational Psychology. Okay, that's cool. While for their PhD student, this funding is full funding, 26,000. And so this covers your tuition for the year and your living expenses. So yes, that is that for their funding. So You can also apply for that's one thing with apply with schools in Ontario. You are qualified for the Ontario Graduate Scholarship, which is around 15,000, and it is also open for international students. International students are also eligible for this scholarship. Yes, that is that. And to apply for this program is the same as the other school: statement of purpose, writing sample, transcript, application form, CV, reaching out to supervisors. So that is that for University of Waterloo, Department of Psychology. Now let's go to the last school, which is University of Western Ontario. So what do we have here? So the same thing, University of Western Ontario offers with full funding. Their school fees is like 8,000, 10,000, or 16,000 per year. So 8,000, 8,000 also, I'm not sure. So you have at least, your you can pay your annual tuition and still have at least 10,000, which the Canadian government has said is the amount required to survive for living expenses for a year in Canada. So they have good funding. University of Western Ontario Department of Psychology offers to their MA students 26,000 for domestic students and 37,000 for international students for masters, right? And then for their doctoral students, they offer 27,000 per year for domestic students and 26,000 for international students. Both groups pay domestic tuition. So PhD students, there is no differential um, tuition payment for international students doing their PhD. That is that for University of Western Ontario's Department of Psychology. So having listed all the schools and the kind of funding each school has, I will conclude this video by offering you some tips for those who would want to apply this year. So for all the schools, application season opens earliest by September, latest by October, and runs through to December, and some of them January, right? So if you want to apply to these programs, make sure that you have good writing sample and research experience. Make sure you know the area of psychology that you are interested in, and start reaching out to professors in time. In fact, from now, you should start reaching out to professors in time. So start write to them, tell them that you're interested in working with them and which areas of interest, you have that align with their own areas of interest. Don't forget, if to get tips on how to go about applying to these programs, check my other videos on how to write personal statements, how to send cold emails, and how to reach out to professors, and even how to request application fee waiver. These are other videos I think might be helpful should you decide to apply to these programs. So without further ado, thank you for watching. I am grateful that you are here today. Don't forget, if you did enjoy this content, please share with your friends and recommend my videos to people in your network reference. Thank you for tuning in. Bye bye, and see you next week.